Alaikum. It's Advocate Gulraiz Ashfaq, and today is the 18th of the July. Sorry, 18th of the June, and then the baseline issue which I just construed in the Lahore High Court divisional benches, especially as per my obligations under the steel circulatory issues of the Pakistan. That the communications during the marriages, while the Article 5, the communication of the marriages in the Republic of the Lahore High Court. So when we just construe that the issues of the Republicans in the Lahore divisional benches, whenever we just pursue the matters in the judicial lines, and then we have observed primarily 97% and minus 3% of the same subject of the intellect in the central divisional benches of the Pakistan. Therefore, that the effects of the polarization in the institutions of the marriage in the Pakistan and the output negative channels of the same, in fact. Yes, I just found these issues in the Pakistan by myself in the central divisional benches of the Lahore High Court, especially. Thereby, when the whole of the month of the June and July would be in the acceptance of the negation of the facts as per my concurrent obligations, in fact. And whenever I just construe the opening debates outside the output challenging task in the Pakistan, which factor primarily observe the most in the Pakistan? This is a question. I just visit so many rehabilitation centers this whole month of the June as to reforming the Republicans' understandings that why the youngsters are in the addictions of the distracted materials of the chemicals outburst in their bodies. I just observe those factors. And when I just multiply the implied chemical outrage medicines intake in the pharmaceutical companies in the Pakistan, I'm again astonished to observe those facts by myself that those individuals are not in the positions as to lay foundations to have the proper medicines machineries in the Pakistan. And these civil issues are very devastating in the Pakistan, which are not being understood by the ordinary civilians of the Pakistan these days. I'm totally out of my senses every day. Whenever I just go to the medical stores, there are a lot of individuals who are just having the pills just to have their bodies, and they're youngsters, they're not old. I'm just raising this question that the youngsters are in the addiction of the pills, ordinary pills. Yes, so if those individuals who are having the pills and they're young, they are not old, and they're not groomed negative, so why they are having the pills? This is the baseline question of the Lahore divisional benches of the Lahore High Court, especially. And if they are having the pills, and while they are eating the pills, while don't having the food proportional education issues inside their houses and by their relatives, then if they are not getting those issues, then who is the person who is paying their pills because of the price hike? I'm astonished by this fact as well. So, if the individualism in the Pakistan is a question of law, and the individuals of the Pakistan are out of their obesity of the solutions, and this is an other issue that the Article 5 prohibits to the ordinary individuals not to disclose any prohibited transaction of the marriages after the discovery of the facts, but the Pakistani feel proud after revocating the marriages ceremonies in the outburst of the civil declined institutions in the Pakistan. This is a primary and secondary issue in the judicial lines, which is being faced by myself every day, whether I like it or not. And everyone who is just raising the slogans of the constitutional doubts, and they are not in the positions to observe their own skins under their bones. And this idiom phrases which I just invent right now, the central issue, again, I just observe those issues by myself all day, and whole night I'm just rotating in the 45 to 90 degree educational bias compulsive modes of assessment that these central individuals in the Pakistan are not in the positions to observe their own self. They're not raised. 90% individuals are not in the positions to observe their physical understandings. Yes, I'm saying that 90%. And after that, If the 90% are not in the position, then the 10% will be declined with the 90%, and there would be no proper business transactions in the Pakistan. This is the issue, and the individuals are not willing. And the racial tribes of the Pakistanis are raising day by day. They are totally mad on their own needs. They just defer themselves. They just embarrass themselves every day. They never dictate their surroundings. They never observe their own issues. They always raise, as any Pakistani is found in this offense, raising the his own problems to the surrounding, and after saying that this is your problem, this is the faceline issue. After raising the problem of itself, the he or she will claim that it is not the problem of the same. So it's better not to disclose the problem to the other one then. This is my question again. As a constitutional advocate, I am not willing to understand such individual who is in the problematic. I always comment that is called the neuropathic disorder. Yes, the Republicans, if we found in the neuropathic disorders and committing crimes in the public sectors, then the Supreme Judicial Council are in the positions to declare the judgments in the debtors to kill those individuals in the central jails of the Pakistan by injecting the poison inside their bodies. Yes, if any Pakistani found in the neuropathic disorder, then the Supreme Judicial Council of the Pakistan, as an operative head of the same, I'll put that judicial operational order in the judicial cells of the Pakistan via the SSP group of the Central Lower Divisionals, that those individuals should be injected poisonous injections inside their body who are suffering from the neuropathic disorder, despite of their parents please that they are not insane. Yes, I'm just dictating that if anyone under the overdose narcotics addiction, raising the pleas of its families to its children that he is not trying to convince his own problems, social problems, and raising the pleas and destroying the wealth of the same, then the Supreme Court will be pronounced to inject a poisonous injection inside the body so that the person should be expired. This is my final judgment in regard with the narcotics addicts in the central Pakistan, that they are destroying their families. It is better to kill one person despite of the whole family. Yes. And the secondary phraseology, which should be, this is only prescription of the judgment. No one is bound to follow my judgment. So the problem again, the secondary one, the females after being married with the wrong choices of the persons always deliver that their parents were not aware of the facts that such person was not fine. Yes, they always in the Pakistan, this is the faceline curse in the Pakistan, that the females are not just a tool. The females of the Pakistan are being more demoralized by the sick individuals, and those females are not in the finest positions to observe their intellectual capacities of the tangible and intangible rights as well in the Pakistan and in the Middle East provincial and central federal provincial autonomies as well. I always study whole night and whole day from my birth now. Hereafter, I have just spoke out every point of sense.